Now that all 3 Absolute Preacher volumes have been released and have had some time to digest the editions in its entirety, I think it's time for a thorough review. In the early 90s, Hellblazer had an iconic run that consisted of the writer Garth Ennis, the late Steve Dillon doing the interior art, and Glenn Fabry doing the stunning covers. It is during this time that Ennis and Dillon came up with the idea of a mortal man being possessed by the offspring of an angel and a demon. Rather than have this be an arc worked into Hellblazer, the team spun this out into its own title, which now has been cemented as one of the top titles to launch under the Vertigo imprint. The series ran from April 1995 to October 2000, which consisted of 8 story arcs. The series was accompanied by spin-offs like the Saint of Killers miniseries and one-shots. As for the plot for this modern day western, the series revolves around the main character Jesse Custer, who is possessed by an infant offspring of an angel and a demon named Genesis. Events early in the book led him to team up with his ex-girlfriend Tulip and an Irish vampire named Cassidy, where they all go on a road trip together to find God. I don't want to give too much away, as there are a lot, and I mean a lot, of WTF moments in the book. This series is definitely not for one who gets easily offended. To this day, this is personally one of my favorite series of all time. It executes a perfect balance of its comedic, serious, and ultra-violent moments. Even with the series ending a long time ago, these new Absolute editions have injected new life to the book. Before I get into the 3-volume Absolutes, I first want to cover the other editions which still seem to be not out of print. The 6-volume standard hardcovers, which also come in trade paperbacks, cover the entire 66-issue run along with the Saint of Killers miniseries and other one-shots. In detail, this is how the 6-volume hardcovers break down. Book 1 contains issues 1 to 12 and contains an introduction by Garth Ennis. Extras include a cover gallery. Book 2 collects issues 13 to 26 with an introduction by Stuart Moore. Book 3 only collects issues 27 to 33 of the main run because it also includes the Saint of Killers 4-issue miniseries, and to top it off, it also includes the Cassidy Blood and Whiskey one-shot. Extras include another introduction by Garth Ennis. Book 4 collects issues 34 to 40 and also includes the one-shot special One Man's War, The Good Old Boys, and a story of you-know-who. Arseface. The introduction is by Steve Dillon. Book 5 continues progressing through the main run of issues 41 to 54. The introduction is by Axel Alonso, and for the extras it includes a 2-page cover gallery. Lastly, the final volume, Book 6, collects issues 55 to 66 and a Toe in the Saddle one-shot. Extras include a Garth Ennis and Steve Dillon introduction and a Glenn Fabry portrait cover gallery. Unfortunately, the covers are standard size and come with the dreaded black cardboard, so it is advised to read with the dust jacket cover on, especially if you plan on reading it in the summertime. Binding is pretty decent for these standard size volumes with no seen gutter loss, and it handles well for a great reading experience. If budget is a concern and don't want to fork out a total of $450, which is the recommended retail price for the Absolutes, this can be a great option as all the 6 hardcovers would set you back $240, and it's even half of that if you go for the trade paperbacks. These prices are of course recommended retail. Your local comic book store or online store like InStock Trades can get you discounts anywhere between 20 to 40% off. Now onto the main event, the 3-volume Absolute editions. The first volume has an introduction by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, who is currently producing the TV series, which is now in its 3rd season. What it collects is the first 26 issues of the main series. The extras include a letters and comments section to Vertigo sourced from the back of the original floppies, an original script from Preacher issue 11, and it doesn't even stop there. This is already a strong set of extras and something we never got in the original hardcovers, but what really shines here is a cover gallery. This oversized format is perfect to showcase the cover gallery by Glenn Fabry and Steve Dillon, but we also get a whole slew of other superstars such as Tim Bradstreet, J.G. Jones, Brian Boland, Bruce Timm, and even freaking Jim Lee and Scott Williams. Moving on to Volume 2, we get an introduction by Graham McTavish, who plays the Saint of Killers on the TV show, along with issues 27 to 40 of the main run. In addition to the main run, we get a series of additional specials. This includes the Saint of Killers 4-issue miniseries and the following one-shots: Cassidy Blood and Whiskey, One Man's War, The Good Old Boys, and the story of You Know Who. For the extras, we get preliminary art from the Preacher specials, more letters and comments to Vertigo, and a short phenomenal cover gallery by Glenn Fabry. Lastly, for Volume 3 we get an introduction by Pip Torrens, who plays Her Star on the TV show. For the main run, it contains the remaining issues 41 to 66 and adds the Tall in the Saddle one-shot. The extras contain more stunning Glenn Fabry cover work and a breakdown of all the Preacher collectibles. As for the build quality, without a doubt this is far the best Absolute Edition DC has ever produced. Don't get me wrong, I totally love the other Absolute Editions, and there are other gems DC has produced like the Sandman volumes and Kingdom Come. But just the attention to detail, like the texture on the faux leather bound book, the foil stamping, and the Glenn Fabry slip cover art just takes the book to a whole new level. And the binding is flawless from what you can expect from every Absolute Edition. And lastly, gutter loss is not remotely a concern here. Now to close out the video with my final thoughts. DC has totally showed us how they can execute building an Absolute Edition perfectly. I honestly cannot see a single flaw with any of the 3 Absolute volumes, and his series deserves nothing less for such an A+ run. They have gone above and beyond with these releases, which got me thinking for a good period of time, why don't they do this with every Absolute release? But why does DC do this? It just doesn't make any sense. Maybe we're going to get a better edition next time. Oh yeah, that must be it. Alright. Absolutes were never budget friendly to begin with, so I cannot imagine readers being conscious of the cost. There are standard hardcovers and trade paperbacks readily available who just want the story, so there must be another reason. Now I hand this question off to you. Why do you think DC don't release their Absolutes to the quality levels of Preacher, Sandman and Kingdom Come? Put your thoughts down below. Again, many thanks for your support, and if you have any questions or comments, feel free to reach out to me. This is Alex, and I'll catch you in the next video.